Hey everyone, super excited about you watching this video whenever you watch it. I'm Russell,
I'm Erica.
and we're super excited to be hosting a We Over Me marriage half day coming
Mhm.
up in April, coming up in a few weeks from
Mhm.
now. And so we wanted to share just a little bit about a couple questions we asked ourselves
Mhm.
and wanted to share with you all about why we think this half day is going to be super important. And so, first thing, I'll go first.
Yep.
We're asking ourselves the questions, two reasons why we decided to do the marriage half day. The first reason is because we have nothing else to do. No, I'm
At all.
totally joking. That is not true at all. But one of the things that Erica and I have shared in marriage over the last almost 20 years, in April, and actually in July, will be closer, but in July, will be 20 years. And one of the things we share is that we know that while marriage is something that God has given us,
Mhm.
we also, for each other, we also know that marriage is a calling that God has given us. And so I'm going to answer my two reasons this way really quickly.
Mhm.
The first one is because we know it's something that God has given us as an assignment as a couple. And so we know we have to do it. We know we're supposed to do it. We know we're called to do it. We know that when God decided to unite us together, one of the benefits
Mhm.
was going to be this level of fruit. And we're going to talk about that a little bit during the half day, that you all are joined together and able to produce some level of fruit. And so, what is that fruit? The second reason for me is also because we've been blessed again to be in marriage ministry to ourselves for
Mhm.
20 years. But in that time span, and we didn't start off the gate, and we're still learning. So we have not learned everything at all.
Mhm.
We are thankful, but we still have couples that we look up to, that we eat with, that we have praying for us that we need. But we also know we have seen fruit from the times that God has allowed us to stand, to sit, to talk, to eat, to pray with couples. And so for me, I'm super excited to be able to do this half day because I know that there's going to be a benefit of fruit. What
Mhm.
about you?
For me, I would say the first thing is to create space for couples to do life together with other couples.
Yeah.
I think sometimes one of the challenges is when you're in a couple partnership in a marriage, it can feel isolating because you don't want to tell people your business, or because you want to, try to present an image of having it together.
Yeah.
And so this will be a room of people who don't have it together, but will be together,
Yeah.
right? For the
Yeah.
purpose of strengthening what we have, for the purpose of learning the skills and strategies and tools and resources that are going to help us to have a more impactful marriage, a more impactful union that will indeed benefit the fruit that's going to come.
Yeah.
The second reason that I think we are doing this, or that we are offering this, is again to create space for couples to intentionally invest in their relationship.
Yeah.
I think so often we are, we'll go to school, we'll get a new certification, we'll do a training, we'll do a workshop to polish up our resume, to add to our LinkedIn profile. We will make sure our children are actively engaged in things that will help them to grow and, increase their availability to whatever resources are available. And sometimes our marriage does not get that same attention. And so this is a very intentional time set aside on the calendar, providing you this opportunity to tap into your marriage in a similar way, kind of like a continuing education for your relationship, right? As a way to continue to build.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I think that that's great, and that actually leads us into the last one. This video is not going to be super long. It's long now, but you're tapped in, so stay tapped in. The three things we think people will get, regardless of how long you've been married, regardless of how long you've been together. The three things that we think you'll get, and I want to piggyback off of what Erica just said, because one of the three for me is that it's the investment. So we've heard. I know people are like, how you going to pay that much for a half day? Well, the truth is we would love to do it for free. Well, actually,
Not really.
I ain't doing it for free. But the cost is the cost because the hotel is a premier hotel in the area. Lunch is provided. Now, if those things were covered, and some people say, well, why don't you just do it somewhere else? Well, because big shout out to our church. We thank God for Kingdom Fellowship, Pastor Watley. We thank God for them. But this is us doing this. And so we've invested in it. And we wanted it to be at a really nice place. And the hotel is a really nice place. The food that will start with lunch will be really nice food. Will be a meal there. There'll be a snack there. But the biggest thing is what Erica just said. It's an investment in yourself. It's an investment in your marriage, and not just an investment of finances. Yes, it's going to cost you money, but it is also an investment of time and focus. And I think that is really important as you get ready to do the rhythms of marriage. You have to have some stake poles and some spaces that you set up. And I think investment is one of them. So we'll talk about that. I'm going to do my other two in a minute, but I want to ask Erica to do her 3 things that she thinks couples, regardless to how long you've been married, would actually get from this time together.
Sure. So the first thing for me as a wife is encouragement as a wife, right? Encouraging the women in the room, those who are soon to be wives in the room, to realize that like this is not for the faint of heart, no, but it is also so rewarding. There is so much joy in the marital journey as a wife. And then also, as I'm not a husband, but to speak to the men in the room too, an opportunity for you to see that there's something of value for you too, that marriage can be enjoyable, right? That we can be the couples who gather on this day, Saturday, April the 5th. We gather, and from that place, we leave reinvigorated with regards to our marriage, right? When people say, oh, your wife, oh, your husband, it's not a ball and chain. It's not this, euphemism, but this very beautiful, like, I look forward to going home to my partner. I look forward to when he comes back from travel, right? So that kind of reorientation, if you will, to what it is to be married and how to enjoy the journey. That's not to suggest that there aren't challenges along the way. That's not to suggest that there aren't issues that you have to navigate your way through. However, kind of, again, reorienting ourselves around the notion that marriage is and can be enjoyable for us as Black and brown couples. And so for me, that is absolutely one of the reasons. Second reason would be for me is to think about what it is to show up in a space where we can laugh, where we can have lunch, and where we can talk about the legacy of love. I'm really, really big on legacy, right? Because I really think about it, not even just from a parenting standpoint, but each of us is impacting somebody else. And as people witness and watch our love story, somebody else is going to realize that love is real, that love is possible. Not that it's perfect, not that it's without challenge, but that it is very valuable, that it is adding something for now, but also something that we can glean from and pull from in the years to come. And so for me, those are the 2 top reasons for this conversation, or actually 3, because I gave you wives, husbands, and now this piece about legacy.
No, that's great. That's great. I think I'll just add a piece of what you said, but that I am in the past 20 years, God has allowed us to have some super highs, but also some mids and even some lows, and being able to talk about that. We won't do a lot of it, but God has blessed us with 2 beautiful children, but we also have some rainbow babies, right? We also have some miracle childs that we know we didn't get the full opportunity to hug on, to love on. And that's a big deal. And until you kind of go through it, it's not a thing. And as a husband, I realized when I was going through it, that brothers have gone through it, but nobody talks about it. And that doesn't strengthen the body, nor does it strengthen marriage. So it's talking about the ups, but I'm also looking forward to talking about how we can still navigate together through the lows, right? And so I think that's key. The other one, the last one I'll say is really around having a system and a process that you naturally fit into, but being intentional about that system and process that works for each other. I'm a strength coach, and so we'll talk a little bit about our strengths and how they show up together. If you don't know what that means, don't worry about it. Register, you'll learn about it. But it's really looking at in marriage, as you work together, you literally have to work together, which means some things Erica does, and there's some things Russell does. And then there's some things that nobody does. We pay for it to get done, because it's just not going to happen. But talking through what that looks like. And of course, Erica has none of these things are individually by themselves in Erica's book, We Over Me, which is why we named it We Over Me Half Day. And you'll get a copy of the book when you register. You'll get some other resources when you register. But then we'll talk about things like commitment. We'll talk about things like connection. We'll talk about things like being able to understand how commitment and connection kind of work together, and what that looks like. And so I'm just excited about the opportunity to pour in. We want to do this little bit of video to give a little more understanding on why there's an investment tied to it, and really want you to pray about showing up, to pray about coming. Don't forget about the day that we have on there that the early bird goes away. But we're just excited about who's going to be in the room, and how we're believing that marriages are going to be better with this first We Over Me half day. Anything you want to say
Last thing I'd say is just decide to make the investment. It's going to be worth it. I can't tell you that it will all be revealed on the 5th of April, but I'm telling you, because of the way God has shown up when we've partnered and done something like this before. It's amazing. It happens in the moment. And then as you look back and you reflect, you see how that pebble you threw in the pond has these amazing ripple effects for the years and years and years and years to come.
Amen. Amen. So don't forget to register now. Don't forget to invite somebody now that you may know to be a part. You've seen the flyer, you've seen the card. You can go to Your Life's Well and be able to do it there. You can also text the word marriage to the phone number 954-539-0841. Again, that's 954-539-0841. Text the word marriage to that number, and the site will show up. You can register there, and we look forward to seeing you on April 5th at the hotel, 12 to 4 p.m. We'll have an amazing lunch at first, and then we'll get into the session. See you guys soon.
Take care and be well.